Hey, everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Angela. I am a full-time voiceover artist and audiobook narrator, and I have dedicated this channel to those of you who are just starting out in this wonderful world of voiceover. So today, I wanted to share with you an update that Fiverr has just recently made that I think will help more on the buyer side of things. In speaking with I'm in the Fiverr Success program on Fiverr, so I have a coach that I speak with every once in a while about things, and he gives me some ideas, and I can ask him questions and things of that nature. And I had noticed the new tags that are required for your audio samples now, and what the impact of those are for us as sellers. And he said the definition or the purpose of these is to help the buyers kind of find what they're looking for faster. And also, the other question I get quite often is how to set your thumbnail for your gig video. If you've ever uploaded a video to Fiverr, you'll know what I'm talking about because it just kind of chooses a random section of your video to use as the thumbnail. And if it doesn't really go along, whatever they choose doesn't really go along with what your gig is, then you may want to change the thumbnail that the clients see as they're scrolling through the profile. So I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's get started. Okay, so this is one of the gigs that I have not yet updated yet. This is my e-learning gig. And I have my 3 audio samples in here. And this is what you will now see when you add your audio samples. For those of you just getting started in Fiverr, this is what you're going to see as you upload your audio samples. But for those of us that have been on Fiverr for a while, this is something relatively new. So if you are a Fiverr seller and you haven't been in to check your gigs lately, this is what you're going to see for your audio samples. Now, what these are now you have the ability to add tags to each individual sample. Let me show you. So this first audio sample I have is for workplace e-learning. So if we click add tags to this sample, we can see your purposes. Now, these are the purposes that you chose when you were setting up your gig in the overview section. Actually, let me show you. So when you're here in your overview of the gig, when you're building your gig, you choose a purpose of this gig, and you can select 3 of these boxes to, indicate to the buyer what kind of voiceover this is for. And I chose video narration, audiobook, and e-learning. So if we go back to our audio samples, when we click on add tags to sample, we see our purpose. Now, this is just allowing you to laser focus in on which one of those purposes best pertains to this particular sample. Now, as this one is workplace e-learning, I'm going to select e-learning. And then your accents, again, was something that you chose in your overview when you're setting up your gig. What type of an accent is offered with this particular gig? I have English American. And then you have the ability here to add custom tags. Now, these will help, again, the buyer to find the sample that is most relevant to their keywords or their search. So for this one, I'm going to type in workplace, and then we're going to do maybe training. Okay, training is in there. And then I'm going to select presentation. You can choose whatever custom tags that you want, but these are the 3 that I'm going to select for this one and the purposes of this demo. I'm going to hit continue. Now that this sample has these tags attached to it, whichever one of these audio samples is most relevant to what the buyer is searching for, these audio files will be shown first. Whichever one is most relevant to their keyword search is what's going to be shown to them first. So this will take the buyer, in essence, directly to the audio sample that is most relevant to the keywords they used to find a particular type of voiceover. So let's go ahead and add tags to the next one. This next one is Okay, I remember this one. This one is also this one was more like a workplace training and safety type of an e-learning. So my purpose again will be for e-learning. My accent is English American. And for custom tags on this one, I'm going to put in safety. Of course, you have to spell it right. Safety. Thank you, Fiverr. And then we're going to, let's see, what should we select next? I'm going to try PPE. And it doesn't come up in here, and I don't have the ability to just add it. Or do I? Let's try PPE. Oh, it does. Cool. So we can make our own custom tags. Okay, so let's see. What else could we use for this one? Let's do training. Whoops. What is wrong with me today? Training. Personal training. Ooh, let's try personnel. Okay, and then the next one, flammable liquid. So this one also is a workplace kind of a safety training video. So let's do e-learning. Let's do workplace safety. Cool, it's there. And let's do hazard and let's try employee and see if that gets us any eyeballs. Okay, so I've just added individual tags to each one of my audio samples. So the next time a buyer is searching for a voiceover with any of those keywords that I used, workplace, training, presentation, safety, PPE, personnel, workplace safety, hazard, and employee, and then they click on my gig, whatever audio sample is most relevant is going to show up first for them. So this new addition for tags for your audio samples really helps the buyer more than it helps the seller. However, if you have a very particular niche gig, this will definitely help you be found sooner, I would think. I don't know how much weight these have in the algorithm per se, but I think they would have to click on your gig first in order to have these tags benefit the seller, if that makes sense. So overall, I don't know how much weight these have on the overall algorithm, but once they click on your profile, if you have something that is specific and niche, then that audio sample will show up to the buyer, showing them that you can, in fact, handle that type of a project. So in that respect, it's good. And I think it will be beneficial for us. Okay, so here we are on one of my gigs, and this is for my gig video here. As you can tell, you can't really tell by looking at this thumbnail what the video is about, right? It's kind of obscure and doesn't really resonate. It doesn't really scream voiceover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this image to the thumbnail that I want to be seen by buyers as they're scrolling through VoiceOver Talent to give them a little bit more of an idea of what this video is about and how it pertains to voiceover. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hover over this little edit button here. I'm going to click that. Now I'm going to, once I play the video, I can stop it and pause it wherever I want the thumbnail to be, and then we'll select Set as Preview. So let's do that now. So I'm going to hit play. Okay, now this is the thumbnail that I want. This is the image that I had added to the beginning of this video for the thumbnail. So what I'm going to do is leave this paused here, and I'm going to click this set. Actually, you know what? I'm going to come back a little bit further just to make sure that it's set in the right place, and then Set as Preview. I'm going to close it and then make sure that you save. Save. If you don't save, then it won't save. Now, it didn't save here. Once we refresh this page, we can see that the thumbnail has now been updated to what we want to be shown. So that's how that is done. So overall, I think the addition of the tags for the audio samples will be beneficial, but more for the buyers, as I said, than maybe for the sellers. But I would say if you have a very niche or specific type of gig, I'm trying to think of some examples, but if it is something that is kind of outside the box, which I always encourage you to do, think outside the box, to stand out a little bit more amongst the the tens of thousands of other voiceover artists on Fiverr, then get creative with your tags. Really start to think about what a buyer could be searching for. What is the day-to-day things that a buyer or a business could be searching for their voiceover, and use those tags. And who's to say that you can't change those up every so often, just like your title, just like your gig tags. Change it up and see what works best for you. And watch your impressions. If they don't creep up and if they start to creep down, then change the tags again. And that goes for your gig as a whole. Change your title, change your tags. You never know. You might just pick that one word that puts you right on page 1 in the top row where you want to be. So that is a breakdown of Fiverr's new audio sample gig tags, and I hope that helps make a little bit more sense of what these are and what they are for. If you have any questions or comments for me, please leave them down below. I really appreciate it. And if you found this video helpful, hit that like button and subscribe, because why not? Thank you so much for watching. If you want more information about me, my work, or how I can help you get started in voiceover, come on over to my website at voiceoverangela.com. I've got courses. I've got a platinum membership plan where we meet weekly in a group Zoom setting, and I have tons of content for my members. And sorry, I had to pause for the motorcycle guy. But we have challenges, I have ebooks, I have all kinds of content for my members. So check it out. Thank you so much for your time, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.